So one of the key things about Logic Apps to understand is its goal is to actually allow you to integrate a variety of apps such as Salesforce, Office 365, SQL Server, Azure Event Hubs, all these things. You can actually create all these interactions and integrations with Logic Apps to allow these applications that may or may not be easy to integrate with each other. It is an integration tool, so it is typically triggered either on a timer or triggered by an action. So for instance, if you had an email come into your inbox and that email was from your boss and it has action required in the subject line, you can actually have it add that to your planner automatically. It's one of the ways that you can consider doing that. And what it does is it interacts and moves data around between these with connectors that knows how to connect between the applications and what the APIs are, so you don't have to do a lot of custom work in order to make this work. Logic Apps is very similar to Flow. As a matter of fact, you could possibly start out working in Flow and then automatically upgrade it to Logic Apps in that scenario if that's something that makes sense to you. Because Flow is on the Office 365 platform, whereas Logic Apps is actually in the Azure platform, and it's design tools inside the Azure portal as opposed to a standalone site like flow.microsoft.com. So now you are aware of kind of where those two products actually fit. One of the things you need to understand is you get some more benefits when you come to Logic Apps as opposed to staying in the Flow space. Included in Logic Apps is the ability to do source control as well as custom development if you need to. And you can actually get to the code page in Logic Apps, something that's not possible in Flow. So you can actually do some, you can build your own. You want to integrate yourself, do a lot more work around that. You can do that. It can be open to Visual Studio. So when you go in Logic Apps, you can actually source control this. You can use Team Foundation or another source control solution of your choice and actually be able to manage the project and manage the source control around that. Logic Apps does a much better job of supporting business-to-business type integrations as well. So in those type of scenarios where you actually want to trigger something based on what your partner in business is doing, Logic Apps is a better choice. A lot of that has to do with the security model and that type of thing is taken advantage of because it's an Azure tool as opposed to an Office 365 tool. So one thing to keep in mind is if your users are actively using Flow, that as that becomes more difficult to integrate or becomes more complex, or they decide to become an enterprise IT managed resource, it makes sense to actually move that over to Logic Apps and let it be controlled in all the normal controls that you have in place, as well as leverage things like Azure Security and those type of all the auditing available there. So if you have any questions about how to leverage Logic Apps within your applications or within your enterprise to do this type of integration, click the link below. We'd be happy to reach out and talk to you. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.